Welcome to the final week of Circles of Caring. Tim, we've talked about so far how we find Christian community in the context of a small group. Second week we talked about how God works through people to meet the needs of people. Then last week we talked about we must not only meet physical needs but also spiritual needs. In this lesson entitled Giving What You Have from Acts chapter 3 verses 1 through 10, we're going to talk about our main point is ask for what you need, give what you have. What are the insights we need to be, start us off on what we need to be thinking about for this final lesson?
Well, technically that's 2 points. Ask for what you need and give what you have. And again, those two sides of the same coin of community, they go together. In the passage, Peter and John go up to the temple. They meet a lame beggar, a lame man who's been there for years. People have seen him laying there for years. No one's ever been able to do much for him. But it is the lame man who is the beginning of the miracle in the story. He simply asks for what he needs, and what he asks for is money. Now, his needs go much, much deeper than that, but money is the only thing he knows to ask for, and it seems to be the only thing people are willing to give him. So he asks. Nobody wants to be the beggar. None of us ever wants to be in that position. Most of us have learned at some point in our lives that we want to be independent, that we want to take care of ourselves, that we need to not have to depend upon others. But honestly, none of us has been put in this world to live without the help of God, and God works through people. So we need people. So in the story, we have to learn to identify with the beggar and simply be willing to ask for what we need from people. As hard as that is, so much of what God wants to do in our lives begins with our recognition of need and our willingness to say it out loud. So the first lesson is ask for what you need. It's what the beggar does, and he asks for money. The beautiful part, though, is what comes next when Peter and John don't have any money. They don't have any money at all. I mean, you could ask them for money all day long, but they don't have money. So that's the beautiful part. Peter and John say, silver and gold we do not have, but what we do have, we'll give you. Take up your mat and walk. It's just so beautiful. It's amazing. So it's that two-sided lesson today. Ask for what you need, but give what you have. They just give what they have, and as it turns out, what they have is actually much more deeply what he needed than what he asked for. And that's the beauty of the story. It's the beauty of the way God takes care of this man. He had to ask, but then when Peter and John give what they have, what God does from that is absolutely beautiful. I love this story.
Yeah, I do too. The lesson reminds us that, we offer what we have. We sometimes think, I can't help with that because what I got's not going to meet their need, but we never know sometimes how the Lord will use that in their life. Or sometimes people just need encouragement that people care in order to kind of make the next step to get what they need. So sometimes our help is sometimes maybe the seed to leads them on to getting further help for what they need. So.
Yeah, I don't know how you are, Warren, but with me, I often carry around that sense of inadequacy. I don't have enough, or I don't have what people are asking for, and so I tend to focus on what I don't have. And when I focus on what I don't have, then I don't give anybody anything. But Peter and John, instead of looking at what they don't have, they consider what they do have, and they give out of that. And that, of course, is what God uses and how God works a miracle in the man's life. I think we focus so much on what we do not have as opposed to what we do have. If we will give what we have, God will take that, add to that, and do his work through that, much more than what we could possibly ask or imagine.
Yeah, I think so too. I heard a great story this past week. A guy was telling me how, because, people don't see him or receive, what he has to offer really well sometimes. He said, that doesn't remove me from the responsibility of loving them. And I thought that's a beautiful example of what we're talking about.
That's good. Yeah, very good.
Thank you for being a part of Circles of Caring study. It's our hope that these lessons have helped you and helped your group, and also helped us as a church to be more caring and meeting the needs of each other, and ultimately being better disciples of Christ. We encourage you to continue to read through the studies here, and we'll have there'll be some other resources available for you, and just encourage you to continue thinking about how we can care for one another better and therefore be the image of Christ to those in our group and also to the world around us.